Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast where you'll learn how to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit. No influencer status necessary. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and you are in for a treat today. In episode 84, I have brought in a special guest to talk about how to create raving fans and dream customers with a summit. And we're going to cover where people tend to go wrong with converting summit attendees to customers and the right way to do it. The key to creating this solid customer journey that gets you and them, which is the important part, results. And to give you some background information on our guest, she's a business growth strategist with a knack for turning big project ideas into small, actionable steps, which has helped her company save over $1 million in her corporate experience. She's worked with seven-figure entrepreneurs on strategies to boost client attraction, conversion, and satisfaction, and she just has so much to share. You guys, we had a coffee chat, and I'm saying that with air quotes, because I should have just recorded our coffee chat and put it on here. She knows her stuff so good, and I am so excited to dive in and talk with Desola Davis. Welcome, Desola.
Thank you so very much. I was listening to the intro and I was like, ooh, who's that girl?
She's really cool.
She sounds really cool.
Well, she is, let me tell you. Before we dive into all this goodness we have today, tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Of course. Hi, everybody. Again, I'm Desola. I am a business growth strategist, and I just love creating amazing experiences for people. So the way that I do this is I help online course creators and coaches design their customer experience so that they can create brand ambassadors and cultivate a raving fan base. And I know that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it's so possible for you to do that even with your first, second, 50th summit. You can start creating your raving fans from day one. So really excited to dive into it.
So true. So like you said, you focus a lot on creating a solid and strategic customer journey to create those raving fans. But can you give us, for someone who has no idea what we're talking about here, can you give us some of the very basics of what that looks like?
Yeah. And if you want to think about why you start your business, right? A lot of people start their business because they have a solution to a problem. They know that they have something that can help others, but the only way you can sustain your business is making sales. So a lot of people are really focused on making sales, getting more, clients or customers or your ideal client. You name your client, you give her a target location. She has her favorite coffee and all of these things. But a lot of people forget the fact that sales is a relationship. At the very core of it, it's a relationship. So if you think about relationships, it has stages, right? And so that's the way the customer journey is. The first stage is we meet for the first time, right? It's a first meeting. It's a hi, how are you? What are you doing here? How can I help you kind of thing? It's kind of that awkward dance where do I stay? Do I go? Do I hit follow? Do I join your summit? That kind of thing. And then you go into the first date. Hey, do you want to go out sometime? And so it's now your customers I don't know. Do I want to spend more time with this person? Do I actually want to, stay in their summit for more than this 3 seconds? And then you go into, man, that first date was really nice. Want to go steady. Oh, do you want my all access pass? Well, this is a huge commitment. Not only am I saying that I want to spend more time with you, but now I want to create this lasting bond. And so after that going steady spot, you can then invite them to fully commit with maybe a recurring product, something that generates recurring income, maybe a membership. Also, maybe just your next summit. Is it see you next year or see you in 6 months? That's another commitment you're asking of people. But I think a lot of times people forget that these are in stages. And so they expect that first meeting, that hi, how are you? To be hey, want to get married? And people are no, I don't know you. Stranger danger. And so that's what I tell people. Think about the customer journey as a clear pathway that the people that you're looking for realize that they've been looking for you the whole time, right? So when you first meet a customer, an ideal client, whatever you want to call them, they're a stranger. Then they join your audience, and then they become your prospect, and then they become your customer. But then there's another stage, even after they become your customer, that you're really trying to get them to, which is the part that's actually going to grow your business. And that's the role of an ambassador or a fan. Those are the people that will ride for you, that will peddle anything that you have to sell to all of their friends and family. And that's really where you want to go. What I'm saying and what we're going to be talking about today is the fact that you can identify those people in your summit from day one and start building that relationship throughout your summit and see return on that relationship even after your summit is over. So really excited. Hope that answered your question. And let me say this too, actually, while we're talking about stages, sometimes people in business don't realize that even as a customer is going through stages, you as the business owner, you as the creator, you as the summit host, you're going through stages in their mind as well, right? So you are also starting as a stranger. Like they happen by your summit, website, or they happen by your summit Facebook group, or they happen by your ad, you're still a stranger. And then they decide, okay, let me see if I want to spend time with you. And you become a vendor. And if you think about what vendors are, those are the people that you go through, like you're walking through the, fair, or you're walking through like the conference, and they have these booths with the swag, and you decide, well, do I want to pick up their swag, or do I want to just keep going? Do I want to pick up their little, widget things? You pick them up, you turn them around, you look at them or whatever. That's where you are, right? That's where you are when they first meet you. And then they decide they want to spend more time with you. And so you move from vendor to option. You're not their person yet. You move from vendor to option. So at the point where you decide that they're a prospect, they get to decide whether you're an option. And so your job is to move from option to solution, right? So now they've decided not only are you an option, but you are their choice for solving their problem. And this is where they buy your all access pass. This is where they buy not just your regular all access pass, they buy your VIP all access pass, because they've decided that what you have is more valuable to them than the money that they're giving up. That's when you become the solution. But just like I was saying, you don't just want to get customers. You want to get that chosen few to ambassadors. You want to become not just the solution to their problem now, but their thought leader for later. And so their thought leader for later is always going to have the answer, not just for right now. They're always going to be their go-to for whatever it is that you fix in your industry that you can continue to serve them with. And so ambassadors are ambassadors for their thought leaders. They're not ambassadors for everybody. And so you're trying to find your ambassadors, and you're trying to make sure that they recognize you as the thought leader. And again, this is all possible with your summit.
No, it so is. And I've never done this on purpose before, but I'm thinking, as you've been talking, I've been thinking back to my summit that I've run a few times. And I can see this with their specific people popping out in my mind. That remember that first summit, they come in my Facebook group and they're the ones talking more than other people. And I'm engaging with them more than other people because they're there showing up. Then they buy the all access pass. Then they recommend it to their friends and buy it for people on their team. And they've shown up for my 3 summit since and bought it every time. And I'm recommending people to come work with me for my services for that business. And I'm always like, wow, I love this person. This person's awesome. I don't know why they like me so much. So it is totally possible to do this through a summit. And I'm really excited to have you here to walk us through it. So can you talk us through what that does look like? Like, how do we create people like that through our summit?
Yes. And I love, before we go into it, that you said you accidentally do it. A lot of really good entrepreneurs right now are accidentally doing some of these things. But imagine, and you've talked about this, you accidentally did this and you have continued to expand your business year over year as you have more summits. Imagine what would happen if you actually strategically did this. If this is actually a part of your strategy in your business, how much more of a return, and not even just from a financial perspective, but from like an enrichment perspective. Like, what kind of business would you be building if you were building it with your ambassadors, if you were building it with your fans, if you always knew, like, yes, I'm looking for ideal customers. Yes, I'm trying to grow my business, but I'm doing this for so-and-so. And I love that you said that faces are popping up for me. Faces should pop up for you in your business. Those are the people that keep you going on the days that, like, it's just complete. Like, it's just like, why did I do this to begin with? Yes, I know I've succeeded in the past, but today is not a good day, right? Those are the faces that keep you going. Those are the faces that, like, I'm doing this for so-and-so. And I know that they'll really appreciate it. And they're the ones that are also going to call you out and say, yeah, that was crap. We don't want that. We don't want that. And that's who you listen to. Now, a lot of times people think that they need to listen to all of their customers, and that's a complete lie. Only 20% of the people that are in your customer base make up 80% of your income, whether they're giving you the money themselves or bringing their friends to you. And those are the people that you need to be listening to, because those are the people that value your opinion the most. So back to the question you asked me. I promise to stay on track.
This is gold. You're good.
But the way that you do this in your summit, I talk about if you think about your summit and that whole program like a product, I talk about a stepwise approach to kind of building your product. So we talked about sales being a relationship, and we went through the journey from stranger all the way to customer. The way that looks like with your product is the different steps. The first step being step 0. This is that stranger step for the both of you. For your summit, your free event is the step 0. This is what you're inviting them to do. It's low risk, no cost to them. It's just, hey, come check us out. This is what we have to offer for you. This is how long the videos are going to be. This is where you can find your free resources, that kind of thing. If at step 0, you're able to have them connect with what success looks like after your summit, then they are more likely to move on to the next step. So your job at step 0 is for them to see themselves succeeding with the resources that you have inside of your summit. Okay. So we're going from step 0 now to your baby step product. That's the first date product. That's just like a, hey, I kind of like you. I like your vibe. Want to go on a first date. That's your, maybe if you have 2 all access pass options, maybe that's your like baby all access pass. And so it's like, well, if you like the videos, do you want a replay of those videos? And the other thing you want to be paying attention to, especially if you have, and if you don't, you really should, if you have a Facebook group attached to your summit, is who's chatty, who's in there talking, kind of like exactly what you said, Krista, who's in there talking, who came in there and is just like, I'm so excited to be here. I don't know anybody, but I'm just really excited. Who is that? And don't let those comments go unanswered. Don't let those comments go unvalidated. And I think sometimes, and I know, Krista, we've had this conversation before. Yes, there are a lot of summits out there. There's not a lot of good summits out, which is unfortunate because that makes people feel like, I've been to one, I've been to all of them. I don't want to do this anymore. But if you can get into your Facebook group and find the people that are actually brave enough to leave a comment and validate that comment, say, hey, I see you. I'm really glad you're here, and actually mean it. I'm really glad you're here. What do you see, is success, right? What does that look like for you, right? And have them answer. And then come back the next day and be like, hey, did you find a resource to get you closer to success? Boom. Now they know that you're invested in them. I think a lot of times, just pulling back from summits for a little bit, creators, coaches, business owners, that kind of thing, sometimes we don't realize that we have to commit to their transformation before they do. Why? Because we know it's possible. They don't know that. They don't know you. So if you're not committed to their transformation, if you're just resting on the fact that, well, I know I have a great product, you may be losing out on people who are looking for what you have. So if they see that you're committed to their transformation, man, they're going to show up because, oh man, Krista tagged me in the summit and I wasn't even going to go today, but now I have to go tomorrow just in case she's looking for me. Just in case she's looking for me. Those people need to know that you're looking for them to show up. They need to know that you miss them when they're not there. And the beauty of that too is that's not going to be everybody. It's not going to be everybody. So for the few people that are doing it, you want to validate them and you want to support them because they're committing to walking through this journey with you. So from step 0, your job is to have them define success. Going into the baby step, now you need to support their success. You need to support them on their journey through that transformation. Now, you're going to find some people who go straight from step 0 to the step up. I call it the step up product. They're like, I love everything about you. You came and you said the one thing that I was waiting for somebody to say to me. I'm ready for all of it. I'm ready for the entire VIP pack. And for those people, you need to congratulate them. So maybe you send them a DM like, hey, I saw you've been, talking. I saw that you got the VIP pack. Congrats. I know that it's going to serve you. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want me to put you in contact with some of the people who have contributed to it. What are you actually chasing? What do you want to get done? Not just after these 5 days, but in the next 30 days that I can support you through. See how that shows that not only am I committed to you spending time with me and thank you for, giving me your email so that I can nurture you for the next product. I want to see you win. I want you to be able to say, because of this summit, I was able to do this. Because all of the thousands and billions of hours, unless you get Summit in a Box, shameless plug, all of the billions of hours that you spend on your summit is for nothing if people are just going to come watch videos and leave unchanged. why even do it? Why even do it? So if they go from your step 0 all the way to VIP, or if they go from step 0 to like, you may have some people who go to the baby step and then they're like, no, I want all of it. Take care of those people too, because it's hard. I'll tell you a story. When I did my summit, I had somebody from the Philippines send me a message it had to have been the evening before prices were going up on the all access pass. And she said, hey, I see that the deadline for the all access pass is midnight this day. I really want it. But the exchange rate in the Philippines is crazy. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of commitment. And I said, hey, friend, I get it. I can't even say I don't get it. We're in the middle. I did my summit in the middle of, coronavirus, like it hit. And then I had a summit and jobs were tight. Money was tight. People didn't know, where they were going to get, their next meal and what have you. But, the fact that I got an email that, hey, this is hard, but I'm going to do my best. I was fully prepared to be like, let me just see how I can support them in this free journey. I'm not saying that, all of a sudden you give things away. If that's how you feel, you can give it away. But I was like, let me just see how I can support. I'll look for you in the Facebook group. I'll tag the speakers and make sure that they speak to you. I'll make sure that you can get everything that you can from this free option. All access pass was going to go up at 12. She bought at 11:50. So, I mean, like, to this day, I can't tell that story without like almost choking up. And you want to know, every day after that, I showed up like my life depended on it, because I knew the pain that the pain of having to like, let me go find money because I know this is going to help. I showed up like my life depended on it. And that's what you're supposed to do for your people. This is how you get to your fans. So if you want just customers, that's cool. You can do like the regular, like, here go your videos, here go your all access pass, here go your little worksheets, have a good day, goodbye. But I want fans. I want people who will ride for me. I want people who want to talk about me without me being in the room. So I showed up like my life depended on it. I sent emails. I tagged people. I, showed up in video. I coached. We were in it together. But that's how you get them to, congratulations, you bought your VIP pass. And I know it's going to work for you. This is why. Go to this resource, and this is what's going to get you to success. Send me an email if you have questions, and then be prepared to answer those questions, right? So we've gone from step 0, define success, baby step, support, and then step up, congratulations. When everything is over, these are the people that you keep in touch with. These are the people that you go to and say, how was your experience? These are the people that, if they ask a question, you're in there with the answer. If they, do you have any additional questions about your all access pass? You go into their, wherever you're hosting the all access pass, if you're able to see progress, you go into their progress and you say, hey, I don't see that you've opened it up. Make sure you open it up. And all of these things, we can be talking about no more than 20 people at this point. It doesn't have to be that many people, no more than 20 people, but hey, I didn't see that you open it up. What's going on? Do you have any questions? Do you need any more help? That kind of thing. Now you have 20 ambassadors. You want to tell me those 20 people can't go tell 20 more people to come to your summit the next time you host it? That's 400 people. That's 400 people that you didn't have to pay money to pull in. That's Facebook ads you didn't have to send out. That's Facebook ads you didn't have to send, right?
I'm shaking my head for reference.
Facebook ads you didn't have to send out. And so, but the beauty of that is you don't even have to wait till your next summit to reap the dividend. Now I have fans who are tagging me in conversations that I didn't even realize were happening. Hey, you need somebody to talk about your customer journey? And a lot of times people are like, I didn't even realize I need to talk about my customer journey. Well, you need to talk to Desola.
Yep. Yep, truth.
You need to talk to Desola. There was another thing that really blessed me. And that's one of the things for me is in building my business, I want to build a business that really is more giving than getting. Like, that's really where I find my passion is more giving than getting. One of the things that really blessed me when I finished my summit is I got an email from, again, another fan. I got an email and it was a picture of a mind map that she had drawn and her children had colored in off of my presentation. Guess where that is now?
That's so cool.
It's the coolest. Like, if you're looking for things like that, or if you're presenting yourself in a position to find those people and to serve those people, they will come to you and they will ride for you even after. And I know we've talked about this, and so I'm going to put you on blast now on your podcast with like no regard. But if you guys have not joined Summit Host Hangout on Facebook, drop what you're doing. Pause this podcast and go find it. Reason is Krista has a whole bunch of fans that she accidentally created in there shouting from the rooftops about all of her products and all of the resources that she has. Why? Because every time someone asks a question, she more than over delivers on the answer. Every time someone is stuck or every time she hasn't heard from someone, they get a tag in the group. Every time, someone asks a question that maybe other people have chimed in, she'll still chime in to say, hey, did you get what you needed? And then not just her, but Corey, bless her. Let's give a shout out to Corey too. Corey will be in the group also supporting. And so one of the things, and I told Krista this, one of her secret sauce powers, one of her superpowers is the fact that she holds your hand through this entire experience. And sometimes, if you're thinking about creating a summit, just the magnitude of all of the things that you have to do, it would be great to just be able to bounce ideas off of someone, bounce ideas off of people who have done it before. So even if you're not in Summit in a Box, definitely go to Summit Host Hangout. It is the best, if not one of the best. You know what? It is the best step zero product I have ever seen. It really is. It is an amazing community of people who give, and give. And it's a great way, especially if you are just kind of wading the water of trying to create your own summit, to ask the questions that you need to get started. So that's my shameless plug. I'm going to stop.
Seriously. And this was part of that coffee chat we had where she was just blowing my mind because she was pointing all this out to me. And she is one of my ride or die fans. And I have, she said, I have a group of them that have suddenly just started showing up in this free community. And I'm like, I don't know why. And Desola starts telling me why, all these things I'm doing on accident and how it's contributing to this. And it's just blowing my mind. I'm like, why is not everyone in the world talking about this and doing this? And if I'm doing it by accident, like you said earlier, what's going to happen if we do it intentionally? And if everyone else starts doing it intentionally from their summits as well? If you have a free community, whatever that looks like, but there is so much opportunity for this. And you did an incredible job in your summit. And I feel like that's how you started getting on my radar more too. You were in the Summit in a Box program. I was a speaker in your summit. I was like, she's really cool. But I didn't know how cool until I was in your Facebook group for your summit. I was like, this is she showed up more than I've ever seen any host show up for their people before. And boom, she had my attention. And it's so cool watching her do this, watching you do this. It's just incredible.
It's awesome. To be honest, those are the people that keep me going. The people that keep me going are my fans. I love all my customers. I love people who come into my audience, whether or not they buy from me, but having faces that come up for me are the reason I'm like, nope, you got to do it for so-and-so. You got to be here for such and such, because it's hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. If it wasn't hard, everybody would do it, and putting together a wonderful summit is hard. I know sometimes people get stuck on, I don't even know what to throw a summit about. I don't know, or it's already been done. There's no room for me to do it. And let me tell you something about the room. That's one of my core values is there is always room. The reason there is always room is because, especially if you're doing this for your fans, if you're doing this so that you can, if you get 10 fans from your summit, you are doing fantastic. The thing is, you don't need that many people. You really don't need that many people. To be honest, in Summit Host Hangout, there's there's a core 20 of us. There's a core 20 of us that always, we're always tagging people. We're always answering questions. You don't need that many people. But if you show up for all of those people, it has cascading effects on everyone else. Because everyone else, believe it or not, is watching you treat other people, how you treat other people, right? They're watching you answer questions. They're watching you take the time, or they're watching you abandon the question. They're watching your response. So if you do this for your fans and you get 10 fans out of that, that'll blow up your business in and of itself. Because like you said, Krista, I didn't know you were watching. I mean, to be honest, I was really glad that you were a speaker and you contributed. And I mean, you came in hard and you were so valuable, but I wasn't doing it for you. I was doing it for the 5 people outside of this that I still talk to this day. That's who I was doing it for. And so when people talk about competition, Your fans are your fan. That's it. They're looking for only you. They're not looking for just someone to solve their problem. They're looking for only you. So if you're showing up for your fans, there is no competition. There is no get up ahead of, above the noise, because people aren't serving them the way you can. You just have to show up. And that's what a lot of business owners aren't really doing right now, which is why there's room for you. If you decide, like, I'm going to take the extra 20 minutes to answer questions in my Facebook group, or I'm going to take the extra time for the person who's in my comments on IG, or for the person who sends me a DM to actually serve them, there's no competition there. There's no competition in your DMs. There's no competition in your comments. You just have to show up.
I have a really fun example of this. So I came into the teaching about summits world after there were some pretty big names already doing it. And I did have that, I don't know if I should do this. I don't want them to think I'm like copying them. I'll never catch up to them, all this stuff. I did it anyway. But when this episode goes live, our summit about summits will be about a week away. And as my co-host and I were planning this, one of the big summit names pitched both of us to speak at his summit. And both of us were like heartbroken. Like, we shouldn't even do ours anymore. If his is going to be a week or two after ours, like, we shouldn't even do it. And we decided, nope, forget that. We're different angle, different people. I don't think I could get any more different from him. So like, nothing wrong with him. We're just very different people. He knows his stuff. We're going to do it anyways. And as of recording this yesterday, I got an email from one of those core 20 in the Facebook group who also got pitched to speak at his summit, and to speak at his summit about summits she's hosted. And she is asked to be an affiliate for my program. So in his summit, she can talk about a free email course she has about summits. And at the end of it, we'll be pitching my stuff in using his summit to pitch my stuff. Does it get any better than that? I did not do that on purpose, but it shows the power of showing up for your people. She doesn't care that he's been around years longer than me, that he probably has a bigger audience than me, that he probably makes a lot more money than me. She wants to show off my stuff because she loves it and it works, and I show up for people even if it's just ingrained in what I do and I'm not doing it strategically,
Not only does she not care, Krista, let me drop another bomb. She doesn't see it. To her, it's completely different. You're still looking at him as competition, and she's like, oh, this guy asked me to be on his summit, so I'm going to pitch your stuff, okay? Because you're my summit person.
Oh my gosh. I love you guys so much.
Because you're my summit person. I'm going to pitch your stuff, okay? I'm going to sell another resource for summits inside of someone else's summit. Is that all right? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And honestly, just even in thinking about, and we talked about you as my case study, but in thinking about Summit Host Hangout, some of these people, I don't know whether every single one of the core 20 are affiliates. They may very well be, but they're not dropping their affiliate links inside of your Facebook group. They're doing it 100% for free. If you said tomorrow, I'm stopping this affiliate program, they would still be talking about you. That's the beauty of this. The affiliate program, and I'm not saying to take away the affiliate program. Please, y'all, don't come for me. I'm not saying take away affiliate programs, but when your ambassadors or affiliates, they don't do it for the money. They do it because they are personally invested in your business and they want to see your business win, and they can't help but share your business with other people because it's just the right thing to do. And when your business becomes just the right thing to do, that's beyond the financial ramifications of that are endless. It's just the right thing to do. I mean, they said they had a need and you were the only option. So here's a reference.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
It's
so
fantastic.
Good.
I love what I do so much because I mean, it's almost like, you plan this amazing gift and then you watch other people experience it and you're just like, yep, I knew you would love that. Because you asked for it and we gave it to you.
It's like magic. It really is
magic. I love what I get to do. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know how we got here. It was good the whole way, so I'm glad we got here, but let's take it back a couple of steps. We talked about how to create these raving fans through your summit throughout these different stages. How do we then convert those people to dream customers, or does it just kind of happen?
Good question. So you want to start thinking about this before you launch your summit, right? I think a lot of people, whenever they create a summit, they have a goal in mind, whether it's just to get just to get leads and then nurture them for like a future launch that they have. But sometimes people have a product that they want to sell right after the summit is over. So I'm going to talk to the people who have a product that they want to sell right after the summit is over. Think about how you can position your all access pass as a baby step product to the product that you're really trying to sell. So what that means is if you're, for example, I'm going to be real extreme here. If you're trying to pitch a $2,000 product to somebody at the end of 5 days of meeting you, then your all access pass can't be $27. It just it doesn't make any sense. Like I get whiplash off of just like, you charged me 27. How did we get to 2,000? We don't know each other yet. And then all of a sudden you have people retreating, right? I also wouldn't recommend pitching your $2,000 product 5 days after meeting them, unless your summit is just like that bomb and you're in it every day and they get all of these additional perks and you know that they're ready and they're warm enough to take that kind of a pitch. So when you're thinking about the types of products to pitch or the types of products to sell right after your summit is over, think about how you can position your product as the next logical step after the all access pass. So what other problems do they have perhaps once they have their all access pass, once they've gone through their resources, and then position your product as the next step, right? So let's say your summit was about, how to use Instagram to get more leads. Let's just say get more leads on Instagram. And it was, different people talking about, or just get more leads. Let's not say on Instagram, it was just get more leads. So people talked about getting more leads on Instagram, getting more leads using Facebook, getting more leads with Facebook ads, getting more leads on JVs. You had a bomb, getting more leads with summits. You had a bomb, audience or whatever. And then, you put together a wonderful all access pass. People had, resources in there to help with email marketing or Instagram marketing, or all of those things. And maybe your product is now that you have leads, this is how you convert them. That's a logical next step to you have all of these resources in your all access pass. If you really want to continue your transformation, here's the next logical step. But then also, like we talked about with the pricing, the price of your next product has to make sense as far as this is the next logical step. Yes, it's going to be a higher price point, but it's a logical increase in price, right? So if your all access pass is $147, $197, and all of a sudden you're selling somewhere between $497 and $697, that's not as huge of a jump as it was $47.97 and here we go with $2,000. No. You're going to get zero conversion from people who weren't already in your audience, right? So if you already have a large audience, they already know who you are. They already know what you can do. Sure, you may get some conversion there. But for your new folks, for the people that came because of your summit, not only are you not going to get conversions, they're going to unsubscribe because they're going to feel duped, right? You promised them something. You delivered that, but then you went completely left with a next right step for them. And not only did you go left, not only can they not afford it, now you've shown them that there's an additional part of transformation that they cannot access. So now I feel bad about myself. So I'm just going to remove myself from your community. So that's my advice. If you're going to sell a product shortly after, make sure that it's a next right step. And then that also helps you when you're thinking about, and I know you talk about this a lot, Krista, as far as finding a profitable niche, is make sure that the question that you're answering or the problem that you're solving makes sense for the product that you're selling on the back end of it. So your all access pass solves a problem. Your product solves the next step. Your product is also the next logical step from your all access pass for your new audience. That's the only way that you can get them to continue to trust you, because each time along the journey, you're asking them to commit just a little bit more, right? So you ask them to commit with your all access pass. Your all access pass was $197. Now you're asking them to commit maybe $497, maybe $697, sometimes $997, right? And you're saying, you trusted me with this. You can trust me with this next. And the only way you can get that bridge of trust is for it to be the next logical step, and then for it to make sense and still be within their reach for access. So if you cut them off and you cut off their access, they're not only going to no longer trust you, they're also going to feel bad about their own selves because they know what that next transformation should be. And they know they can't access it with you. Therefore, you are no longer their solution. You're now just a vendor and they're going to leave.
Oof. Man, and I'm sitting here. See, so this is going to go live the week before our summit. So we will have it figured out by then. But I'm sitting here like, we might have to do some rethinking on this plan.
I mean, but you can do it. You can do it, and we can talk about that later, but you can totally do it. It's all about the presentation, I say. It's all about the presentation and how you can show them that it's within their reach, right? So I think sometimes, when people price things or sometimes when people present products, they think that when they present their products or it's a higher price product, they're just selecting for their people. And that may not be the case because everything is all about presentation, right? So you can be selecting for your people, but you can be selecting against your people if they see your presentation as an access restriction versus I'm not ready for this right now. This is like you just dangled the holy grail in my face and then said I couldn't have it. So I'm out because you're no longer my solution. I thought my solution would be here to help me, to support me. And that doesn't mean give everything away for free. It's just I'm your solution. I'm here to help you. This is the next step with us. And so just as we're talking about this, and feel free to take this out if you don't want to put this in here, maybe your solution looks like a payment plan as the first option. But if you're able to, this is the pay in full option. So instead of starting with, this is a pay in full, but if you can't, here's a payment plan. This is what you can get today. If you put this much today, you can start your journey. But if you can, this is what it looks like when you pay. So that's why I'm like, you can do it. It's all about the presentation though. And what makes sense after the all access pass. Now, if your all access pass was already $997 and then you said pay in full was $1997, that makes a whole bunch of sense. But if your all access pass is different and then the next step is just a little bit more, then they don't feel like they're committing to too much more.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Thank you for breaking that down. Like, oh my goodness. And like our summit is a summit to help course creators launch their course through a summit. So like, I'm going to have to make this, I'm totally pitching you to be on the summit, but I'm going to make this like required listening for everybody because
this is your prereq.
Yes.
Listen
yes.
to this.
I love that. Oh my gosh. So good. We have covered so much in this episode. This might be my longest episode ever on the podcast, but like
I'm a trendsetter. I'm very happy.
You're wonderful. For everything we talked about though, what would you say is the biggest takeaway you would want listeners to get from what we talked about?
That's a really great question. I would say remember that sales is a relationship and that the deeper you can have a relationship with someone who really is in your target market, your ideal client, the richer your business will be because of them. So your job is to satisfy all your customers, but it's also to delight your fans because if you can delight your fans, they will reward you with more people, more income, more impact than you're able to do on your own. So do the work. It takes only a few more minutes and just an additional couple drops of humanity, but it reaps dividend over and over and over again. You can totally do it. I'm really glad that you allowed me to talk in your ear for a little bit. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, so good. And every single part of this is so true. Where can people go to learn more about you, what you offer? I know you have a free gift for everybody listening. Tell us about that.
Yes. I have a customer journey template that'll help walk you through for your summit what that journey looks like, how you can identify your fans, and then how you can position your product or whatever the end goal is after your summit. So look out for that in the show notes, I guess.
Yep.
And you can find me on Instagram. That's where I spend most of my time, on Instagram at Desola Davis. Please come say hi and say Krista sent you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for being here, Desola. This was absolutely incredible. And thank you everybody for tuning into this episode. For show notes and the resources we mentioned, including links to Desola's customer roadmap template and her Instagram profile, head to summithosthangout.com/084. Now go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit.